Hello and welcome back to a new TCG video. Today I am presenting another deck list video, similarly to the Lugia one, but this time it's not Lugia, it is Mew Vmax. That is right, the deck that has won a couple regionals in the past couple of months. This is the white variation of Mew, so not the single strike, I almost said there. The fusion build of Mew. This is the white version of Mew, which is mainly used to shut down your opponent and just generally be annoying. So here's my list. This is my list. I made it myself. And this is my variation on Mew. I have played this deck a fair few times and I do like it. I enjoy it as a bit of a break from Lugia. And I will show off all the cards like I did for Lugia. For the Lugia video. I do like these type of videos. If you do as well, let me know in the comments. But here we go. Three Mew Vmaxes. Mew Vmax is your only attacker in this deck, so it's important to have one or two out. And you use the Cross Fusion Strike attack, which is choose one of your bench Pokemon's attack and use it. Bear in mind it has to be Fusion Strike Pokemon. You can tell by the Fusion Strike logo, which is up there, and this comes from Fusion Strike, the set. These cards are fairly cheap at around £10, and as I said, these are your all main attackers, and you tend to run free because they are worth free prizes. So if you get knocked out, if two Mew Vmaxes are knocked out, you have lost the game. Mew Vmax is weak to Dark type Pokemon. A main staple is Drapion V with its ability, I think it's Dynamic Tail, which is where for each Fusion Strike Pokemon in play, reduces the attack cost by 1, and it can one-shot Mew Vmax because for type weakness. So that card's it's fizzled out a little bit over the TCG, and a good thing about Mew Vmax is that it's no retreat cost, which is very, very good. So yeah, so there's the 3 Mew Vmaxes. Next on the list, obviously, with your Mew Vmaxes, you will need 4 Mew Vs. You want Mew Vs out on the board as quickly as you can. You just want them out as soon as you can. I do run one Crown Zenith one. There is no difference other than the artwork. I personally prefer this artwork compared to these ones. These are the Fusion Strike ones. This is the Crown Zenith one. I personally prefer these ones over all the others. This version of this Mew does not have any good attacks for this type of deck because you run double turbo energy, which I will show off. And there's just no need to use it, but it does have to move Energy Mix and Psychic Leap. You can, if you have it on your bench, you can use these attacks with Mew Vmax, but that might be a rare case. So we've got 3 Vmaxes, 3 Vs, and with this you will need 2 copies of Genesect V. Genesect V has the ability Fusion Strike System, so once during your turn, you may draw cards until you have as many cards in your hand as you do Fusion Strike Pokemon in play. For the Fusion build of Mew, this is a very good card for drawing loads of cards. Say you have 6 Pokemon on your active and bench, and you have 4 cards in your hand, you can draw 2 more cards. It's very good, it's repetitive drawing, and it has the ability, as does move Technoblast for 210, which is what Mew Vmax will copy, especially in this deck. Well, all of them pretty much copy it, because it is a heavy hitting attack for 2 colorless energy, which is very, very good. Because it's the Mew Vmax white build, we will be running 2 Bidoof, and if I can grab them with one hand, 2 Bibarel. Bidoof, this one, you'll need this one especially because it's got 70 HP, which is better against Lost Box matchups. You won't use these attacks, they are your draw supporters. So this is my Brilliant Stars promo and my Crown Zenith Bibarel. I do like these two. And it has the ability Industrious Incisors. Let's get the camera angle. There we go. So once during your turn, you may draw until you have 5 cards in your hand. This is very good and work under Path to the Peak, which is what Mew Vmax, the white build, will use. Because you can't use them. You can't use it on Genesect, because Path shuts down Genesect, but it doesn't shut down Bibarel. So you can keep drawing with Bibarel and Bidoof, which is why we have it in this deck, because you still need draws. A way to draw more cards is through Squirvet. This card has seen very good popularity in Arceus Giratina with its ability Nest Stash, Once during your turn, you may shuffle your hand and put it to the bottom of your deck. If you put any cards on the bottom of your deck in this way, draw a card. So this is one card you're getting, and then when you have this on your bench, you can draw 4 more. And that cycle can just repeat. You keep putting cards to the bottom of your deck, and you just keep recycling them over and over again, which makes it very, very good for getting the cards you need. For the trainers, 1 copy of Pal Pad to put your supporters from your discard pile back into your bench. I think a one-off copy is okay for this matchup, or for this build, sorry. 1 copy of Forest Steelstone, because these cards are expensive. I would probably run 2, but these cards are like £10. And they are very expensive because they are very, very playable. I did pull this one in a video that never made it public, but oh well. But yeah, this card with the ability Star Alchemy. During your turn, you may search your deck for a card, put it in your hand. Simple, but very, very effective. If you have those in your bulk, they are not bulk, they're expensive. We have a 1 copy of Hisuian Heavable to look in your prizes for a basic Pokemon. That's just basically what it does, just in case you prize maybe a Mew V or Genesect. For the trainer, we have Zinnia's Resolve, so discarding 2 cards and drawing for each card your opponent has in play. These are kind of last supporters, kind of last choice. You don't really want to use this supporter because you are discarding 2 useful cards potentially, unless they're trainers, and then you can shuffle them back in with Pal Pad. But it's a good draw engine if you're stuck. 1 copy I'll switch, just in case something like Genesect or Bidoof, Bow, Squirvet gets stuck in the active, because they do have retreat cost, unlike Mew. You could just switch them back. It's just nice and easy. For this, we have 4 copies of Nest Ball. This card basically, search your deck for a basic Pokemon, put it on your bench. Simple, easy, get your Mews, get your Genesects, get your Bidoof, Squirvet onto your bench. Obviously, you cannot fish out Mew Vmaxes with this, but it's very good for getting those basic Pokemon straight out onto your bench as soon as possible. To get your Mew Vmaxes if you're stuck, we run 3 copies of Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball discards 2 cards and then search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle the deck. This is any Pokemon you want, so it can be any Pokemon as mentioned up here, including Mew Vmax, because it just says a Pokemon. If you have cards like that, you do need to read them just in case. We run a 1/1 copy of Choice Belt to do 30 more damage against Pokemon Vs. Another kind of draw kind of get is Capturing Aroma. This card has had quite the controversy recently with whether playing Great Ball or Catching Aroma. I personally like to play Catching Aroma because it's flip a coin. If heads, search your deck for an evolution Pokemon, which is Mew Vmax or Bibao, reveal it, put it into your hand. If tails, though, search your deck for a basic Pokemon, so you don't lose when you play this. You can get quite unfortunate with die rolls, but that's just the way it goes. And I personally, you could switch these out for Great Balls, but sometimes when you get Great Balls, you could hit nothing. For this deck, this is a card I personally quite like to run. It is Cross Switcher. Sorry, you can only play 2 of these at a time, so you cannot play 1 like you would Catching Aroma with that. You need to play 2. It does state that on the card, whether it'll pick up on camera. You must play 2 cross switchers at once. So it'd be this. It'd be like this. You put it down, you play it. Switch 1 of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active Pokemon. If you do, switch 1 of your active Pokemon with your bench Pokemon. Very, very good. It's kind of like a boss's orders, since you get to pick whatever you want. The way I would run this is have your Mew Vmaxes on your bench ready to go. Use it, switch it up with a Mew Vmax, potentially retreat if you need to, into another Mew Vmax because it's got a free retreat, and you can just keep attacking. But problem is, you do need to play both. And sometimes they can be quite hard to find, maybe they're prized, so you might have 3. So you might have 1 in here and 3 in there, so you can only play it once because you need to play 2 of them. But for this deck as well, for the kind of retreating, 2 copies of Escape Rope to switch both an opponent's Pokemon and your Pokemon, which can put your opponent a little bit at risk. With Fusion Build, you are allowed to run Power Tablet. These can only be put on Fusion Strike Pokemon and do 30 more damage that turn, and they do stack. So you could play all 4 and do 120 extra damage, which is pretty good. It's just your damage boost, but they can only work once, whereas Choice Belt can work all the time if you are in a V matchup. because this is the white variation of Mew, you will be running 4 Path to the Peak. Shuts down all abilities from Pokemon that have a rule box. Bibarel does not have a rule box. A rule box example, just grab you in a sec. I did mention this in my last video, but you can see the rule box there, where it says take 2 prizes. That is your rule box. So to have Path and to keep drawing with Bibarel and slow down your opponent, it's a no-brainer. And because you have 4, you're more likely to pull them. If you would like to see this deck list, I might just put a post up on my YouTube. For the trainers, some more trainers. A 1/1 copy of Shadow. You can see this has the Pokemon Play logo at the bottom to heal damage from your evolution Pokemon and discard the energy if you do. Very useful. I have used this card quite a few times. I do like it. For the next trainer, how many do we have? We only have 2. This is a bit of a last resort trainer. It's Professor's Research. Discard your hand, draw 7. You don't really want to discard your hand sometimes, but sometimes you do to get the 7 extra cards. Very useful for searching into the deck and seeing you can maybe fish out your VMAXs. For disrupting your opponent, we play 2 Judge. Shuffle your hand. Each player shuffles their hand into the deck and draws 4 cards. However, I do get a little bit of like anxiety when I play this card of judging my opponent into an amazing hand, and that has happened, and I've had that happen to myself. So it's a bit of a risky one, but if it's done, it's done. 2 copies of Arven. To search your deck for an item card and a Pokemon Tool card. If you don't know what a Pokemon Tool card is, in Paldea Evolved, I think Choice Belt did get a reprint, and instead of item, they put Tool in. So you can search for a Choice Belt and any item card you see, like Forest Stillstone, Hisuian Heavy Ball, Power Tablets, Ultra Balls, Nest Balls, but not trainers, any of like that. It can only be, what was I going to say? It can only be item cards, not supporters. That's what I was going to get at, but just didn't want to say it. We run 1 copy of Roxanne. Roxanne is a great hand disruption. I've had it played on me, and it hurts. You can only play this card if your opponent has 3 or few prizes cards remain. Each player shuffles their hand into their deck. You could draw 6, but your opponent draws 2. Very useful for disrupting your opponent. To shuffle Pokemon back into the deck, we run 1 copy of Miriam. Miriam has obviously been a very popular card in the TCG. Shuffle up to 5 Pokemon from your discard pile into your deck, and if you did, draw 3 more cards. An amazing supporter. It's definitely rated enough, and it's an expensive card. For obviously putting your opponent in a bit of a sticky situation, 2 copies of Boss's Orders. I think this is normal for every deck to include 2 of these to switch your opponent's bench with their active, just so you can target some Pokemon and maybe just do some damage. Final cards of the deck, you can see there's no energy. So what energies do you run? Oh, well, as mentioned before, Double Turbo Energy, 4. You only need 4 energies. This card provides 2 colorless energy, but you do minus 20 from attacks. This way you can 1-charge Mew Vmax, and you can use it on Bibarel if you are stuck. I wouldn't recommend it, but yeah. You can one power up in this 1 turn. You could get Mew Vmax rolling, and because there's 4, you're more likely to draw into them, and that is, I think that's probably it summed up. This is my variation of Mew Vmax. Obviously you can't see the Mew Vmaxes here, but this is the deck list. If you want, you can take a screenshot and build this deck if you want. Thank you all for watching. I do like these types of videos. I am going to do another one on a new deck I am making. No spoilers, but it is very popular in the TCG currently. And it's my own take on this deck, which is going to be very interesting because I am missing like 2 more cards from this deck. And I will get that done as soon as possible. So, thank you all for watching. I hope you found this video useful and enjoy the rest of your day.